with Battle. FirebatHero setting up another command center, so he's going to try and take that expansion. He feels he has enough to take that third expansion, his natural. Xavier now has got a few hardness up. I think he's going to probably morph them into lurkers. He's probably maybe send them down to one of the other expansions to try and set up a defense there, so that he can build an expansion there as well. And Xavier now with a significant group of Mutalisks, they're bound to get irradiated, and Xavier just scouting around trying to find an avenue for attack. His main, FirebatHero's main, is relatively undefended. It only has a single turret. FirebatHero now just massing up his production using those two expansions to full effect, massing up his productions, and Xavier has got Xavier doing exactly what Gorush did in the last game. He's got a group of kind of flanking units to the south, maybe hoping that FirebatHero would venture out unprepared. And Xavier now going for the Greater Spire. Xavier's got a hive up and he's got his Defiler Mound building. If Xavier's going for the Greater Spire, maybe he can get a large group of Guardians up before FirebatHero can get a lot of science vessels. He might be able to do significant damage to FirebatHero's main and his economy, and that's what Xavier's hoping to do. FirebatHero now finally moving out, and Xavier knows that maybe Xavier's going to try and do what Gorush did versus C, where Gorush left that ramp relatively undefended. His forces were scattered, and Gorush took that ramp and won the game on that principle. And I think Xavier has obviously seen that game, learned from that game. It looks like he might be trying to repeat that. But FirebatHero at the moment holding firm at that ramp. FirebatHero not venturing out. Maybe he's seen that game too, and he's aware that that's something that possibly might be done against him. So at the moment, both players content to play defensively. Both players content to build up their forces, and this is almost a little bit like Command and Conquer, where both guys are just building up a large number of mammoth tanks, and you're just going to see a big battle in the end with all the mammoth tanks going against all the other mammoth tanks, and whoever has more mammoth tanks left surviving is going to win. But FirebatHero is going to scout Xavier's forces positioned in the south of the map, and that's brilliant by FirebatHero. He did that specifically so that he doesn't get caught off guard, and seeing those Zerglings, FirebatHero does pull back his main force to his main. So FirebatHero could have been potentially vulnerable there had Xavier been able to sneak that force around, but he did an excellent job, and he's already got about 3 science vessels, so Xavier's going to find it tough to combat FirebatHero's 3 science vessels. Xavier has his defilers out, and FirebatHero has not pressure. Normally we see a turn tank push by this time, so FirebatHero content to not pressure Xavier and content to let Xavier build up his forces. And I hope that Xavier makes him pay for that, because Xavier should not let FirebatHero be so overconfident in his defense. And FirebatHero finally now moving out with his force to that expansion in the 11 o'clock position, and being again forced to retreat and just maneuvering around the map, just trying to scout around and make sure that Xavier doesn't have any forces surrounding him. And FirebatHero did this on Python as well. He was constantly moving SCVs in front of his forces and in flanking positions of his forces to prevent Xavier from getting a good flank going. And Xavier now, Xavier's Defilers being irradiated, and you've got to feel that FirebatHero has no idea that those Guardians are coming, because he's used all of his irradiates up and he's not going to be able to irradiate those Guardians. So Xavier should be able to do significant damage to that expansion. FirebatHero is going to be forced. And Xavier sacrificing a Mutalisk there to try and take out those turrets without losing too many units. And Xavier now also is going to move lurkers up to FirebatHero's Expo, to FirebatHero's National Expo. Xavier is going to force FirebatHero to lift both that Expo as well as the Expo at the in his main. FirebatHero is just ignoring that and going for Xavier's main, but Xavier's going to have defilers and a few lurkers, a handful of lurkers will be enough to defend. Xavier's now taking the ramp of FirebatHero finding that ramp vulnerable. Xavier trying to take that ramp, but FirebatHero does have a few forces defending it, so FirebatHero is going to be forced to retreat. FirebatHero trying to see if there was an Expo there on FirebatHero bringing his science vessels back, but as I said earlier, that even though he's going to irradiate, he used up a lot of irradiates against FirebatHero's already got about 5 or 6 science vessels, and Xavier's continuing to pour into FirebatHero's main, and those 3 gas have really helped Xavier get all those lurkers and Guardians up. And with the 3 gas, Xavier was able to afford those lurkers and Guardians. FirebatHero trying to counter at Xavier's main, but Xavier's managed to defend that successfully with his Defiler and his lurkers, and so FirebatHero is not going to be able to take this to succeed in this push. FirebatHero forced to unseat those tanks, but one of those tanks is going to be alive. Xavier can take out the second tank as well before it retreats. FirebatHero is going to be in a lot of trouble, and FirebatHero needs to repair that command center. Xavier is just pouring forth into FirebatHero's main. You've got to feel that Xavier should be able to take this game. I really hope he can, because FirebatHero cursing under his breath. He's just not happy at all with the outcome of this game. And you know what? If he loses this game, I think he has only himself to blame, because he was happy to turtle. He allowed Xavier, and Xavier has now got lurkers buried, and FirebatHero is going to have his science vessels mass murdered, and Xavier committing mass murder on FirebatHero's science vessels. Xavier mass murdering those science vessels. FirebatHero's science vessels with nowhere left to run, and this is GG. This has got to be GG. FirebatHero has that large force still though at the top of the map, and he's got a lot of science vessels maneuvering around, but Xavier has got enough of an economy to be able to defend against this, and FirebatHero is going to be unable to replenish his forces. And my stream has just frozen. It's just buffering there. Sorry guys. So I'm really glad that Xavier and GG, FirebatHero calls GG. Brilliant play by Xavier. And you know what? I think FirebatHero got a little bit overconfident after that last game, and he played a little he played a little too cautiously. He was content to sit back and let Xavier expand, and Xavier with that 3 gas just overpowering FirebatHero. So brilliant play by Xavier. GG.